Welcome to the Basics Today. My name is Scott Foley. I am your host of the show. Today I was sort of browsing around, just kind of looking online and, out in the world about what, is going on with instant gratification. Yeah, it's one of those things where, I think we're unconsciously, by default, displaying it everywhere. And I think it's because we have become so accustomed to doing it. It's something that we don't necessarily stop and think, oh, is this really the right thing for me to be doing? Because instant gratification really does two things. It stresses people out and it causes people to be impulsive with their decision making, impulsive with spending, stuff like that. Now, granted, some people love it, and more power to them if they do. But instant gratification is what's making our world sick, in my personal opinion. It's making us sick because when we make certain decisions without really stopping and thinking it all the way through, I think that really takes away the critical thinking aspect of it. And when it takes away the critical thinking aspect of it, that could be a dangerous thing, not to think something all the way through. Because sometimes when you don't think something all the way through and it happens, a negative effect happens from it, I think that is something that you have to kind of go back and look, okay, was that the right decision? Probably not. That's it. That's what instant gratification does, and it has the power to do in our society. It has the power to take over us, which I believe it has. You look at apps today, you can get food real quick, instantly gratifying. The Facebook and the Instagrams and Twitters and all that kind of stuff like that. You can post something and you can watch certain videos instantly, and we've really become used to that. Used to that in a way where, that's the norm. Things have to be out in seconds. That's the norm. Not minutes. Seconds. And when I mean seconds, I'm talking about like 1 or 2 seconds. I mean, because in our world, 10 seconds is too slow. I know that sounds ridiculous, but it is. For a lot of people, 10 seconds is too slow, especially when it comes to technology. Refreshing web pages, reading content, or wanting something that you need. It has to be right now in our world. But I guess the question, too, that I ask everyone who's listening, how fast is too fast? How slow is too slow? Do we really have a definition for that? I don't know. I've never seen one, unless somebody else does. The instant gratification part of it is the faster the better. The faster the better. Pretty soon, 1 to 2 seconds is too slow. Milliseconds is going to start taking over. Can you imagine what that would be like? God knows I wouldn't want to know what that would be like. Everything would be going so quick. Your whole life is in front of you, literally in 3 seconds. And heck, that might even be too slow. It's crazy, I know it. It's crazy when you sit back and think about it. Life goes fast because of instant gratification. Things move quickly at the speed of light. And because they move quickly at the speed of light, that has become our desire. Everything has to move quickly. Whether we go out to dinner, we want that dinner quickly. We watch a movie. If it's too long, we don't want to continue to keep watching if it's too long. I remember when people used to enjoy 2-hour movies. They don't anymore. We'd rather watch a 30-minute series on Netflix. 30 minutes, boom, it's done. That's all it takes. It's what we live in these days. It's got to be quick. The stress keeps mounting up. When I say the stress keeps mounting up, I think people are confused about why they're stressed out. A lot of people are stressed out from, the daily hustle and bustle of their job. Or, trying to take care of large families. Health problems, all this other stuff. And yes, that does play a factor in your stress, but what a lot of people are missing, there's one piece to that puzzle that they're missing. Instant gratification stresses them out. The hustle and bustle of instant gratification stresses them out. And I mean bad. Instant gratification is like a drug where we want to be instantly gratified at all times a day. Whether we're at work, home, school, whether we're getting a meal, and if that instant gratification necessarily didn't come that day, we go to bed unsatisfied, unhappy, because we didn't get our quote-unquote high. What do I mean by that? When you get high off that drug, you need that high to be satisfied. Instant gratification is the same way. You need that high, instant gratification to feel good. That's what our society has shaped itself to be. We need to feel good on that instant gratification. It's the most dangerous thing I've ever seen. Never seen anything like it. I'm 30 plus years old. And as I've seen the world sort of transition in the technology age when I was in my 20s on into my 30s, you could see it. You can see instant gratification take over. It hit us by storm. Businesses looking to find better ways to serve society. The faster the better. The competition of business to serve you. It was like a giant wave that came. Almost like a tsunami that came into us and like, hey, look, instant gratification is here. Take advantage. And it was like adding fuel to the fire. Did it make us better humans? I think not. It only made us more greedy, stingy, and treat each other with disrespect. Because we're sitting here teaching each other, or teaching our children, I should say, through our actions. Look, I got this first and you didn't. We have that type of attitude. It's terrible. That's why I think instant gratification is such a poison, because it literally is poisoning our minds, our children's minds, society's minds. Is this how we want our children to grow up? Because according to our actions, we're saying yes. But we didn't stop and think, what does our mind say? But going back to what I was saying, instant gratification doesn't cause you to use critical thinking. So technically, we're not using our minds. We're very smart people. We're very smart creatures. Humans are some of the smartest people you will ever see. Doesn't mean we make smart decisions. We do not. Humans make very, very unsmart decisions every single day. And we don't necessarily know if that decision is going to harm us now and down the road or just now. Yeah. You know, when I first started this show, I think about all the stuff that humans potentially don't think about. Not from an arrogant standpoint, but I'm thinking of a standpoint where I want to help people become educated about some of the things that is literally killing us. Mentally, physically, emotionally, and socially. Killing us. Instant gratification is one of those things that kills us in those areas. It does. And people don't realize it. And we need to really quickly before it gets too far away from us to where we can't control it. Who knows? We might already be there. But I think, too, I understand why our society has been shaped the way it's been. Because I think we become a product of our environment. I really do. Humans become a product of their environment. You know, when we have certain things around us, we tend to take full advantage of those things. Whether it affects other people or not. And that's real basic talk. It is, man, because, you know, there's a lot of things that people do in the world that really affect others. And I mean bad. And because it affects others and not the person who made the decision, the person who made the decision keeps walking down the street like nothing happened. They may feel bad for a few seconds, but it doesn't harm them. They could care less what they do to other people. That's the society we live in. Sorry to break the news to you so negatively, but hey, it is what it is. This is stuff that people don't want to think about. Maybe they know, but they just don't want to think about. This is awareness. That's what this show is about, awareness. We're making things aware to the point where it makes us stop and think, what are we doing? Not just to ourselves, but to each other. And that's what instant gratification really equals. We're making these plans and these ideas to instantly gratify other people and literally making them sick. Making them mentally sick. And yet people could care less that they're making people this way. Oh, well, Scott, we're making all this money and this is all great and stuff like that. No, it isn't. Yeah, sure, you're making money, but you're making people sick. You really are. I think about people who work in certain industries, food industries, tobacco industries, stuff like that. When I think of stuff like that, they're literally making people sick with bad food and tobacco, and yet they're still doing it. Now, granted, I still think it's a choice to want to consume that stuff, but where's the conscience behind that? They want you to be addicted so you can be instantly gratified. That's very interesting. Go back to what I just said. They want to keep you addicted and be instantly gratified so you can come back for more and more and more and more and more. That's what I mean about people becoming sick and people who are behind these plans making people sick. When are we going to turn the tide and start doing things for the greater good? You know, I was reading about a college football player yesterday. I want to say he plays at Minnesota, and he had scored an NIL deal to help his home country with hurricane relief. That's an example of a great human being that we need to follow. That's an example of what we should be doing. That young man, what he did for his country, can't say enough good things about that guy. Good character, great athlete. He was taking care of his home country, doing what's best for the greater good. That's what I'm talking about. That's how we become stronger as one, as a society. When we have more people like that, instead of bad influences that just add to the problem of instant gratification. And hopefully people will see what it's doing to us mentally and financially. It's damaging our futures. Not just for ourselves or for our children. And when we can see that and hopefully reverse that, just maybe, we'll be in a better position. Thank you for listening to The Basics today. I'm Scott Foley.